At 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
We had a lot more in the way of some heavy storms, especially in our eastern counties overnight. There is some flooding going on right now. How much longer will it last?
Plus, some elected officials in the State Teachers Association continue to react to Governor Abbott's executive order prohibiting government entities from requiring masks.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we are about 67 degrees, a little cooler, and expecting more rain again today.
And good morning to you. It's Wednesday, May 19th.
Thanks for joining us. I know we got a lot of rain, but I slept through it. What about you?
I didn't hear much of anything last night that I recall, but I mean, radar is super active this morning. If you're watching from our eastern counties, Mike Osterhage has you covered. A lot going on out there.
Yep, we had, yesterday late afternoon, evening hours, some of those severe storms in and around the metropolitan area, and then everything was just kind of concentrated off to the east in the overnight hours. There is still some flooding going on right now. Flash flood warnings are in effect for some of our eastern counties. You can see this green outline right there. It is eastern Wilson County, covers Gonzales, a little bit of Guadalupe County, Carnes, and this is in effect for the next about hour and 15 minutes until 5:45. As you can see, most of the really heavy rain, though, still around Victoria, but that is continuing to work its way off to the east. Now, we do have a couple of more showers and a few more thunderstorms that are trying to develop even down to the south. A couple of these showers and then a few cells down there off to the south and west, just to the east of Eagle Pass. And so we will have more rain around throughout the day today. Now, flash flood watch remains in effect up until tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And again, some areas off to the east may still see another couple inches of rain. That's where it looks like the concentration is going to be today. And we do still have a very small severe threat. Somewhat higher severe threat is down in our southern counties later on today. Again, high winds and hail are the biggest concerns with that. Mold is on the high side. It's going to be staying high the next couple of days, given all this moisture around here. Temperatures this morning are going to be staying basically steady. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms. The really heavy stuff is continuing to work its way off to the east. And we'll have more showers and thunderstorms today. Some heavy rain, especially off to the east. 78 for a high temperature. Looks like there's going to be a bit of a lull in the action tomorrow, but then it will start to pick back up somewhat Friday, and then looks like especially going into the weekend. All the details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Caught on camera as more weather moves through today. This video sent to us from a store in New Braunfels that was yesterday. Some hail and rain managed to get in. Employees had to lock the automatic doors from opening as customers waited out the weather event inside.
And take a look at what one KSAT viewer caught on camera. This image coming to us out of Bernie as the rain rolled in earlier yesterday. A viewer was able to capture this lightning strike and share it with us. We're expected, as Mike said, to have an active weather pattern through the rest of the week. You can share your pictures safely with us. Do so. KSAT.com/pins. This morning, many local and state leaders are reacting to Governor Greg Abbott's order on mask requirements.
Meanwhile, there was a big change in New York overnight. ABC's Mona Kassar-Abdi has the latest.
A major milestone today in New York, once the epicenter of the pandemic. Wearing a mask indoors is now optional for vaccinated New Yorkers in most cases. But some say they're not ready to drop their mask until more people get the shot, including the state's health commissioner, who says he'll keep wearing a mask indoors even though he's vaccinated.
Until we get to a fully normal state, post-COVID state, where the vast majority of people are vaccinated, then it will continue to remain confusing.
In Texas, even more confusion and frustration. Governor Greg Abbott now signing an executive order after the state recorded 0 COVID deaths for the first day in more than a year. That order says local officials in Texas who implement mandatory mask orders can now be fined up to $1,000. Houston's mayor already suggesting his city will not comply.
You don't run the city of Houston and the city employees in the city facilities. The mayor does.
Governor Abbott's order also makes masks optional in schools. The president of the Texas State Teachers Association outraged.
Every time that we think that we're almost to the end of this pandemic, that we're reaching a goal to make everybody safe, it seems like the state comes back and attacks a safety measure that we have asked for.
In the meantime, White House advisor Andy Slavitt is making a personal appeal to young people to get vaccinated, revealing that his own teenage son has been battling COVID and its effects for months.
He's young and fit and in the prime of his life. But 6 months later, he still suffers from tachycardia, shortness of breath, and ongoing and frequent flu-like symptoms.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Today, the U.S. House is poised to vote on a 9/11 style commission on the deadly January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The vote is the first step towards creating an independent bipartisan panel that would investigate the siege. But the bill creating the commission is expected to be more difficult to sell in the Senate. Republicans are signaling they'll try to block or at least slow the effort. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he is pushing the pause button on the legislation. Democrats would need at least 10 GOP votes in the Senate to pass it under Senate rules.
China's UN ambassador says France is seeking a UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants who control Gaza. Meanwhile, the United States has blocked the UN's most powerful body, which is charged with maintaining international peace and security, from issuing a press statement calling for a halt to the violence. The U.S. is insisting that it would not help diplomatic efforts to end the conflict.
Over in Florida, officers have arrested a suspect in connection with an alleged attempt to kidnapping captured on video. Police in Pensacola say this 11-year-old girl was waiting at a bus stop when a man armed with a knife tried to kidnap her. Look at this. That video showing a man running towards the girl sitting on a patch of grass by a backpack. Girl tries to run away before he grabs her. As he pulls her back toward the car, they both fall to the ground, at which point the girl breaks free, grabs her backpack, and runs away. Police arrested the man and charged him with attempted kidnapping of a child, aggravated assault, and battery.
Time now is 4:36 and about 67 degrees right now.
Still ahead on GMSA, don't have to hit the drive-thru to get your cold brew coffee fix. We'll show you some easy ways to do it yourself.
And it all comes down to this. San Antonio Spurs have to win tonight to continue their season. We're going to have a preview coming up, plus a look at Missions baseball.
And outside with live cam, if you're waking up wondering what's going on with the showers and storms yet again, Mike does have an update coming up. Again, we're tracking storms well to the east. If you're headed to Houston this morning, wow, it's going to be a rough day for them to start things out on your Wednesday. 4:40, welcome back to GMSA. Our Spurs got into practice for the first time in the second half of the season before boarding their charter from Memphis, where they'll face the Grizzlies for the fourth time this season in a win-or-go-home play-in game tonight. After finishing 10th in the West in the regular season, the Spurs are 4-point underdogs on the road tonight at FedEx Forum to see if they can continue their season. Spurs beat the Grizzlies in their season opener 131-119. That was back earlier, but in February they lost back-to-back games to the Grizzlies, including their second worst home defeat by 31 points. Tip-off for tonight's game set for 6:30. The Warriors and Lakers play the late game. Big night at the Wolf last night. Missions hosting their first home game since 2019. Opening up with the Frisco Rough Riders in a 6-game series last night. Didn't turn out so well, though, for a home opener. Frisco would score only 1 run, but that would be enough. Missions lose 1-0. Series continues tonight through Sunday. Games start at 7:05 in the evening at Wolf Stadium.
All right, they got another shot at it.
Good luck, Spurs, tonight.
Yes, definitely. Go Spurs, go. Time now is 4:41 and about 67 degrees right now.
You don't have to start your day waiting in line at a fancy coffee shop. Up next, we'll explain how to make your own cold brew coffee.
Also up next, for the first time, we are hearing from a teacher who disarmed a 6th grade girl after she shot 2 students and a custodian. And welcome back. It's 4:44. The Idaho teacher who disarmed a 6th grade girl after that student shot and wounded 2 other students and a custodian is speaking out this morning. ABC's Andrew Dimpert has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive.
I just knew the Lord was saying, you guys need to get out here.
For the first time, Krista Knighting, the teacher being hailed as a hero for her grace and compassion under pressure, is speaking out about what happened at Idaho's Rigby Middle School on May 6th. On that day, a 6th grade girl allegedly brought a gun into school and opened fire, those shots injuring 2 students and a custodian.
We heard a shot, a really loud sound, which I knew was a gunshot, but my brain kept thinking of different things that it might possibly be because I just couldn't believe there would be a gunshot in our school.
Coming up at 7 a.m., Krista Knighting will tell us what happened next, how she found the courage to approach the shooter, how she disarmed her before anyone else could be harmed, and the incredible message of forgiveness she's sharing this morning. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News.
On a lighter note, at 4:45, cold brew is getting more popular than ever, especially now that it's getting warmer outside.
And sure, you can hit the coffee shops and drive-thrus, but you can save a lot of money by making your own. And as 12 on your side's Marilyn Morris shows us, you don't need a bunch of fancy gadgets.
So yeah, as you can see, I have a problem. I own way too many coffee makers.
Dan Roklowski is a coffee connoisseur. While his kitchen is percolating with coffee gizmos galore, he says you don't need any of them to make a good cold brew.
Cold brew coffee, as the name suggests, is brewed with cold water instead of hot water. And because of that, it has to brew for a much longer period of time.
All you need, he says, are 2 lidded jars that can hold more than 3 cups of water, a coffee filter, a funnel, and your favorite beans, coarsely ground. You'll want roughly 1.5 cups of coffee for every 3 cups of cold water. Mix well and let it steep for at least 12 hours at room temperature, or 18 hours in the fridge.
Through that long brew process, you end up with a coffee that is much less bitter, a little more rich, and smoother.
After steeping, place the funnel and coffee filter on the other open jar and slowly pour. It's some strong stuff, so dilute it with water using a 1-to-1 ratio. Then just add ice and any milks and sweeteners you like. And you can store your cold brew concentrate in your refrigerator for up to 2 weeks. Still prefer a gadget? Consumer Reports recommends the Cuisinart automatic cold brew coffee maker. It brews in about a half an hour. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Cold brew fan?
I am.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing in a way.
Yes, especially, you know, when it's in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, when it's like 100 degrees at 4:47 in the morning, Mike goes
Yeah. Isn't that the same as just like when the coffee gets cold in the pot and you just drink it?
No.
It's more concentrated.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more punch to it, a lot of folks would say.
Yes.
Well, that was a pretty common sight last night, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, things really started going yesterday afternoon, right around like late afternoon dinner time. And you can see off in the distance here that column of rain. Boy, it was just coming down gangbusters. And some folks, northern Bexar County and right up just in the northern fringes right there, got a ton of rain. I'll show you that in a second. It is fairly calm here in town right now. Interesting this morning, you know, seeing all the lightning and hearing some of the thunder off in the distance, walked outside and my deck, the walkway out to the garage, everything is bone dry out there. We hardly got any, if at all, rain here in town. But as you can see, all the very, very heavy showers and thunderstorms. So we had all this that developed late last night, and it worked down to the southeast and then took off to the east. And another big cluster developed and continued to work its way off to the east. And here's some of the rainfall estimates. I mean, look at down around Victoria, just got inundated. And this is what a lot of computer models had been picking up on a couple of days ago. And these are just some estimates, not actual ground measurements, but estimated anywhere, maybe, you know, pockets of 9 inches of rain down there around Victoria. Hallettsville area, 4.5. Same thing near Cuero. Nixon, about 3 inches of rain, a little bit closer in and around the metropolitan area. And this was just in the past 24 hours. And a lot of this was yesterday late in the afternoon dinner time. I mean, some of those storms just dumped a ton of rain up there, 2-3 inches worth, and even right just to the southeast of Seguin, an estimate of about 5, close to 6 inches of rain down around Pleasanton, a lot as well. So here's the latest radar image, and this green box right here is the flash flood warning that's still in effect for the next hour. As you can see, a lot of the rain has ended, but they picked up a ton, and so there is still some flooding going on there. And this is for eastern Wilson County, just a little bit of Guadalupe County right there, portion of Karnes, and then going off to the east. We've got a couple of more of those showers and even a few thunderstorms that are trying to develop. And it looks like If you had to kind of point to one part of our viewing area, it's going to be east and southeast where the majority of the rain is. And that's what this computer model is doing a pretty good job picking up on throughout the day. More of those heavy showers and thunderstorms. Again, the concentration down to the east and to the southeast where, of course, they don't need any more rain. And this will continue to be through the day. And the rest of us will still see a few showers, a couple of thunderstorms, some heavy downpours, saturated ground. So there's going to be a lot of runoff as well. It looks like tomorrow we might see a little bit of a lull in the action. Then it's going to start to pick up a bit more as we go into Friday and then especially going into the weekend. Additional rain, still a couple of inches, lesser amounts off to the west and going to get way too much to the east. And some of those, the flash flood watch is still in effect through tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And of course, there is the small chance for most of the area for something to become severe. And then a little bit higher risk for that down in our extreme southern counties. So for today, we will have a few more showers, a couple of thunderstorms. The flash flood warning for some of our eastern counties for the next roughly an hour at 74 degrees today at noon. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Still a few heavy downpours, mainly to the south and east today. 78 high temperature. A little bit of a lull in the action tomorrow. It doesn't mean there won't be any rain around, but it's not quite as much. It'll pick back up a little bit on Friday, and Saturday is looking like another fairly wet day, more rain Sunday, and then just the scattered variety Monday and Tuesday.
But there is still chances there on Monday and Tuesday.
Yes. Maybe lingering into Wednesday, too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a wet pattern that we are in.
Yeah.
Oh, the mold level is just going to be insane.
No complaints. My weeds are growing nicely in my yard, so it's green. So.
I'll complain for you, everybody. 4:51 right now on your Wednesday morning.
And coming up next, Pink gives a behind-the-scenes look of her new documentary and why she says she can't wait for her kids to watch it.
Your pick 3 numbers, 013 Fireball 7, Daily 4, 4560 Fireball 3.
Looking at Cash 5, 2, 15, 16, 21, 22. And your Mega Millions, 3, 5, 56, 61, 66, Mega Ball 4, Mega Plier 2. Good luck.
This morning, Hollywood is remembering a beloved actor, plus Steven Spielberg debuting a new documentary.
For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
I love to travel by train.
Oh, yeah? What do you think this is, a class trip?
Are you always this angry?
Lovable curmudgeon Charles Grodin has died. Known for movies including Midnight Run with Robert De Niro and notoriously uncomfortable talk show appearances with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch you.
Grodin was a celebrated stage and screen star who perfected the art of simultaneously being charming and cranky. He died of bone marrow cancer Tuesday at his home in Connecticut. Charles Grodin was 86.
I always wanted to be a rock star. I dreamed of being a mom.
What's it like to tour the world, selling out stadiums with your kids in tow?
Mama.
Pink lets us peek behind the scenes with her new documentary, All I Know So Far, which she says shows how cool she is as a mom, and she can't wait for her kids to watch it someday.
When they've built this narrative in their head about how they weren't loved or cared for, or how tough it was to be my kid, and I never fed them and locked them in closets. So now they can go back and see that actually I was fantastic.
All I Know So Far is out on Amazon Prime Video on Friday.
Rejoicing life is wonderful.
Out today, the Oscar-winning Steven Spielberg-produced documentary The Last Days about 5 Holocaust survivors has been newly remastered, and it makes its Netflix debut. And happy birthday today to Sam Smith, the Grammy-winning singer turning 29, while singer and YouTube star JoJo Siwa is 18. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's about 4 minutes till.
And still ahead on GMSA, the House is poised to vote today on creating an independent, bipartisan panel that would investigate the siege at the Capitol. Why the move is getting pushback from some lawmakers.
Plus, a new game show setting to launch a winning contestant to the International Space Station. Details ahead in your Morning Tech Bites.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, many in our community are still looking for protection against the coronavirus. Now, San Antonio firefighters are bringing the vaccine right to their doorstep. We're going to have the details on GMSA at 6.
And also coming up, Stephen Cavazos is here with an update on the morning commute on this early Wednesday morning as we take a live look at TransSky.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Acosta. New this morning, what local school district says it will lift its mask mandate as early as this week following the governor's executive order.
A crucial vote on the House floor today regarding the attack on the Capitol. I'm Mike Ajachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, why Republicans want to put a pause on the commission.
And right now, calm here in San Antonio, but flashes of lightning well to our east. Big thunderstorms moving through our eastern counties, headed towards Houston and the upper Texas coast. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, May 19th.
Thanks for joining us this morning. I know for me, at least in the afternoon, we had a little bit of a break from the rain. A little bit.
I got huge showers and storms late yesterday afternoon.
What about you, Mike?
I didn't really see much of anything, but again, most of it was on kind of the north side of Bexar County and swinging over there and then over toward our eastern counties. Pardon me. Seguin got a ton of it, and then it continued to work its way off. Another big wave moved in overnight, and yeah, our eastern counties just got inundated with a ton of rain overnight. And there's still some flash flooding going on right now. Some flash flood warnings. Going to show you that in a moment. 66 degrees here in town. The wind is temporarily shifted around to the northeast, and the humidity has dropped down. It is kind of pleasant when you step outside, and high temperature today up to 78. We will have more scattered showers and some thunderstorms around here. The aquifer yesterday went down for some reason, should continue to go up because we've had a lot more rain in the recharge zone, and the allergens mold is on the high side, grass is low. Here's a look at radar right now, and again, it was coming down in just barrels and buckets off to the east, and you can see this green box that is still right there. That is the flash flood warning that's in effect for some of our eastern counties for the next 45 minutes. Most of the heavy rain is continuing to move on out. There's still a lot around Victoria, and picked up more than half a foot of rain, and a lot of that just in the past 24 to 36 hours. That continues to work its way off. Now, we do have a few more showers and some storms that are trying to develop off to the south and to the southwest, and it looks like we'll still have more rain today, but the majority of it is going to be sort of in the southern half and over toward the southeast later on, of course, where you don't need any more rain. And we still have the flash flood watch in effect for most of our viewing area, except for the hill country, up until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And there is the chance for severe storms today, high winds and hail. We did have some reports of hail yesterday as well. A slightly better chance, the slight risk, is down in our southern counties, and that's going to be later on today. And after really this afternoon, it looks like the severe threat is going to be on out of here, but we'll still have the chance for some rain. So storms today, some heavy rain primarily. Doesn't mean won't see rain elsewhere, but primarily down to the southeast. Tomorrow, just a few storms. We have somewhat of a lull in the action, and it's going to try and pick back up again. It's Friday, and then going into the weekend, we'll have more showers and some storms. We'll probably even have a few showers left over and a couple of thunderstorms starting off first of next week. Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority getting ready to hit the road. Stephen Cavazos, what's going on, sir? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Well, we got some good news for drivers for if they're planning on heading out on the road this early in the morning. Things are looking pretty good, but we have spotted a few slowdowns, but things look to be improving over here in 1604. We had spotted some construction there a little bit earlier this morning, but as you can see there in those eastbound lanes of 1604, things are moving nice and smoothly this morning. Another slowdown, though, that we spotted is over here right on 35 in those northbound lanes coming into downtown San Antonio. Looks like there is a slowdown right now that we're going to be keeping a very close eye on. But other than that, things are looking pretty smooth so far for this Wednesday morning. You can see the inbound times, 281 coming in from Bulverde to downtown San Antonio, about 25 minutes. Over here from New Braunfels, 35. You're looking at about a 26-minute commute time if you plan on heading out the door this morning. Taking a look here at TransGuide, things are looking pretty smooth again if you plan on heading out the door in the next few minutes. We got some good news here on 37 in Lotto Creek, as well as 37 at Jones Avenue. We're going to be keeping a very close eye here in the traffic lab throughout the morning and have more coming up. Mark, Stephanie.
Governor Greg Abbott's new executive order will go into effect soon and carries a fine of up to $1,000 to local governments and officials who try to demand masks be used. Starting on Friday, Governor Abbott's order will officially prohibit government entities from requiring wearing or face a fine. Public schools will be allowed to follow mask wearing guidelines through June 4th, but after that, masks will not be required on campuses. Hospitals, jails, and state-supported living centers are exempt from the order. Businesses can still require employees and customers to wear masks. New this morning, one area school districts announced they'll lift its mask mandate on campuses as early as this week following the governor's executive order.
Sarah Acosta is live downtown with the announcement from Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD making that announcement to its Facebook page after a school board meeting late last night. And so far, they're the first local school district that we've heard from since the governor made that executive order yesterday. So let's take a look at what they actually posted to their Facebook page late last night. It says, quote, Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD Board trustees voted unanimously to modify the face covering requirements currently in place at the regular meeting held this evening, effective at 1 p.m. on Friday, May 21st. SCUC ISD students, teachers, and staff will no longer be required to wear face coverings inside a school building, school facility, or facility used for school activities. Face coverings are optional and may still be worn by those who choose to continue this practice. Effective immediately, face coverings will not be required for staff or students when outdoors. Face coverings are optional outdoors and may still be worn by those who choose to continue this practice, end quote. So as other school districts make those announcements following the governor's executive order, we'll keep you posted on air and online at KSAT.com. Live from downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
In a few hours, House lawmakers will hold a consequential vote on the House floor that would form a commission to investigate the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
But some key Republicans appear to be rejecting the idea. ABC's Ika Jachi has more from Washington.
This morning, Republicans are looking to put a pause on the push for answers surrounding the January 6th riot at the Capitol. The House will vote today on establishing a commission to investigate the attack. It'll likely pass with little, if any, Republican support. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy now siding with former President Trump and opposing the bipartisan effort to investigate the attack, even after one of his allies negotiated the terms.
We have the numbers to pass it without a single Republican. But that doesn't get us to where we need to be. And so the minority leaders' last-minute effort to, I think, sabotage the whole effort is disingenuous, because those of us who negotiated this did it in good faith.
McCarthy wants the commission to also investigate what he calls political violence last summer during protests over police killings of unarmed black men. Once the bill passes, it'll head to the Senate. Now, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is calling the effort duplicative.
The Justice Department is aggressively pursuing the people who encroached on the Capitol.
If the commission gets through these roadblocks, the 10-person group will have subpoena power, meaning House Minority Leader McCarthy could be called to testify, since he spoke to then-President Trump as the rioters were breaching the Capitol. Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who was recently ousted from her leadership position by McCarthy, has suggested he should testify before any commission. These types of commissions aren't uncommon. Republicans, they conducted about a half a dozen investigations into the 2012 Benghazi attack. And 9/11, that was investigated several times before the actual 9/11 commission began its work. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
Neighbors on the city's south side still shaken after a man was gunned down on Monday night. The shooting happened at the intersection of Tabor Avenue and West South Cross Boulevard. San Antonio police say the victim was pulling out of his driveway when someone drove up, got out, and shot at him several times. One neighbor who asked not to be identified said the victim's name is Roberto Lopez and that he would only go to work at his construction job. They say they're concerned because the shooter has not been caught.
I don't know why people do it. I mean, they want to come by, shoot, and then they take off. I mean, if you want to shoot, why don't you stay through the whole process? If you want to be tough enough and attend to the consequences.
The victim was taken to BAMC, and at last check, he was in critical condition. If you have any information that can help police in this investigation, you're asked to call their homicide unit. That number 210-207-7635.
Right now, it is exactly 5:09 on your Wednesday morning.
And still ahead, how Google is making it easier to protect your most cherished photos online.
And next, how our next great graduate hopes to use his passion for politics to help struggling LGBTQ youth who become homeless.
And taking a look outside with live cam. For me, it was nice and cool when I stepped out this morning, but I am expecting more rain. Mike says that will come later on. We will check in with him.
512, welcome back to GMSA on our Wednesday morning. Glad you're with us. A high school senior from Henry Ford Academy hopes to one day be able to help other struggling teens like he was helped by others.
Sarah Costa introduces us to great graduate Chris Bills.
High school senior Chris Bills is passionate about theater and the arts and says the community at Henry Ford Academy cultivated that love for performing. But he says his experience at HFA also created a passion for social reform and public policy.
I'm very passionate about justice and equality within our communities, as well within the country, within legislation and things.
It's why he wants to major in political science when he starts his college path at the University of North Texas next semester. But it's not necessarily politics he wishes to pursue, but hopes to one day work for a nonprofit that helps struggling LGBTQ youth, especially those who become homeless after coming out to their families.
I had friends who were in that situation. I was very close to being in that situation, and so that was kind of my big passion with that. And I had people who helped me, and so I hope to help other people.
He says he knows it can be a scary situation and is incredibly grateful for his family, friends, and community at HFA who stood by his side.
I often am very grateful for the people in my life that helped me through those times when some people weren't quite as understanding yet.
In 10 years, he says he doesn't just want to be involved in some type of nonprofit work, but hopes he can be that support system to LGBTQ teens who don't have anyone else to turn to for support.
I really hope to be that person that I might have not had when I was at that point, because I know a lot of people who just didn't have the resources to get help through that, and so I would hope that I could be that person for someone else.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Good luck, Chris, over at senior at Henry Ford Academy.
Yeah, congratulations. Time now is 5:14, about 67 degrees right now.
Still ahead, Apple getting ready to show off its latest MacBook. We'll have a first look.
Also next, a new TV game show getting ready to send a winning contestant into space.
I'm still exploring what's next and still going for my best, even though I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib not caused by a heart valve problem. So if there's a better treatment than warfarin, I'm reaching for that. Eliquis. Eliquis is proven to reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, plus has significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis is FDA approved and has both. What's next? I'm on board.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Ask your doctor about Eliquis, and if your ability to afford your medication has changed, we want to help.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple is poised to roll out a redesigned MacBook Pro. Bloomberg reports the new laptops will feature the company's in-house chip, supporting up to 64 gigs of space. There are more ports, including the return of the SD card slot, and it will come with 14 or 16-inch screens. Google Photos is providing users with a safe space. A new feature called Locked Folder is being added to protect your private images. Nothing in that folder will appear on your photo feed or in other apps. The password-protected feature will first launch on Android and Pixel phones this year. Finally, who wants to be an astronaut? No, really, that's the name of a competitive adventure TV show announced by Discovery. It will take place next year. The winner is expected to get a seat on a flight to the International Space Station and spend 8 days on board. I can get behind that. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
It's 5:18. What do you mean? What do you think about pestering Stephen Cavazos?
I think we should bother him.
Well, let's do that. Oh, Stephen.
You guys are my new favorite people in the morning, including Mike as well. So love being here with you guys and starting the day and keeping a close eye on our roads for our viewers out there. And we've already spotted a few problems as the morning's starting to pick up. A crash has actually been reported right over here off Highway 16, right at Lone Star Pass. It doesn't appear that it's impacting anyone's commute right now, especially because it's off Highway 16. But we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. And if you are heading in that direction, just be sure to use some extra caution out there. We still are spotting that slowdown here at 1604 in those eastbound lanes. A little past Blanco Road, you can see that traffic has slowed down there to 45 miles per hour. We know that there was construction in the area, but things look like they're improving so far this morning. Other than that, a look here at TransGuide, things are looking again pretty smooth at 35 in Nogalitos, Loop 410 at Rolling Ridge, but a lot more people getting out on the roadways, so we're going to be keeping a close eye here in the traffic lab.
All right. Well, for now, we have time for coffee.
He's still new on the morning show, so we have to be nice to him.
I'm kind of new. I'm kind of new.
Nice to
Been
him,
here,
of
but not
course.
here with you guys.
Wait till the honeymoon's over, Steve. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Okay, anyway.
Wow.
Seriously,
Look at all that lightning.
Man, I don't know if this is a time-lapse picture, if this happened all at once, but that's a great photograph, and a lot of clouded ground, lightning, very dangerous situation. So
it's Bernie.
Up in Bernie. Make sure if you're ever in one of these storms, don't even stand with the door open, something like that, because lightning can hit things and ricochet around. And so just stay inside. That's your best place to be in a lightning storm like this. So everything's fairly calm here in town right now. We're at 66 degrees, mid 60s in parts of the hill country. We did cool down a little bit. We had a nice breeze from some of those storms well off to the east of us overnight, and that helped to drop dew point temperatures down as well. So here's what is going on with radar right now, and still a lot of very heavy rain down around Victoria. Most of it, that's where the leftover heavy rain is, and we still do have the flash flood warning, this green, light green box right here. Wilson County, part of Guadalupe, Gonzales, Carnes, and then heading off to the east. That's in effect for the next about 25 minutes or so until 5:45. A couple of more showers and thunderstorms are developing down to the south and to the southwest. You can see down there around Cotulla and heading in toward Pearsall. A couple of them in Atascosa County, and we will probably continue to see more of these developing this morning and then also later on this afternoon. Here's the rapid update computer model. The one's been handling a lot of these situations pretty well over the past couple of days as far as the thunderstorms developing. So it's initializing with all of these storms here, and then watch down to the south how those storms get going and develop even by later on this morning. And especially, this is where the majority of it is going to be today, down to the south and to the south and east, some of the heavier showers and thunderstorms. That doesn't mean more won't be popping up elsewhere, but this is just where the lion's share of it is going to be today. That's going to then sort of taper off as we get into the overnight hours. And tomorrow we get somewhat of a lull in the action. Now, we do still have the flash flood watch in effect till 1 o'clock tomorrow, so things will kind of ease up a little bit. And we do have the slight risk for something severe in the yellow area down to the south, and the marginal risk elsewhere today for any severe storms, high winds, hail being the biggest threats with that. 74 degrees today at noon. Showers, couple of thunderstorms going to be popping up. And again, the majority of the rain is going to be more toward the east and to the south and east. Storms, a couple of heavier downpours can be expected. And this is on top of all the saturated ground, especially off to the east. Somewhat of a break in the action. Just a storm or two tomorrow is possible. Start to pick back up a little bit more on Friday, and then a better chance for rain Saturday and Sunday. And we'll still have more showers and thunderstorms first half of next week.
Wow, I'm really going to get some use out of the rain jacket. A lot of people will.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. 5:23 on your Wednesday.
And coming up next in your morning spotlight, after a long pandemic, concerts are coming back. We're going to tell you about some of the biggest names that are leading the charge.
Now a look at the latest stories making headlines in the world of entertainment.
Here's CNN's Douglas Hyde with the Hollywood Minute.
Charles Grodin has died of bone marrow cancer. The actor, writer, and host was best known for comedies like Midnight Run, The Heartbreak Kid, and Beethoven. He also made memorable appearances on talk shows like Late Night with David Letterman. Grodin was 86.
So let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay.
A new trailer for Dear Evan Hansen is giving us our first look at the big screen version of the hit Broadway musical. Ben Platt, Amy Adams, and Julianne Moore star in the high school tale about a lonely teen longing to be accepted. Dear Evan Hansen opens in theaters September 24th. After a long pandemic hiatus, concerts are coming back, and some of rock's biggest names are leading the charge. Green Day, Weezer, and Fall Out Boy have announced a joint 21-city North American stadium tour kicking off in July. And the Grammy-winning band Kings of Leon are returning to the road as well with a new tour beginning in August. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
And time now is 5:27 and about 67 degrees right now.
Still ahead on GMSA, today the U.S. House will take up a vote on creating a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. We'll tell you why some lawmakers are pushing back.
Plus, Taco Bell is bringing back a popular menu item. We're going to tell you when it will be available.
And later on GMSA at 6, a person is dead after an overnight motorcycle crash. We'll tell you what we know.
This is a complete farce. I hope no Republicans in the House vote for this.
Making headlines this morning, some Republicans pushing back against creating an independent bipartisan panel that would investigate the siege at the U.S. Capitol.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're in the mid-60s this morning and expecting more rain.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. It is May 19th.
Thanks for being with us this morning. I know I got a little break from the rain, near the downtown area, but you said you got downpours on the north side.
I did, and then driving into work this morning, I saw lightning well off to the southeast, and that's even moved on. Here's Mike Osterhage with the very latest.
Yes, indeed, and things have quieted down here for the time being. We will have more rain around, and folks off to the east got inundated in the overnight hours. 66 degrees. We did get a little bit of, it was kind of windy earlier this morning. Some of the wind coming in from those storms off to the east, and that has dried things out ever so slightly. So dew points are down to 62. It's a little comfortable when you step outside. Wind out of the north at 8 miles per hour. That's kind of a temporary situation. So here's what's going on with radar, and most all of really heavy rain. Now it's still falling around Victoria, and then we do have this green box right here. That is the flash flood warning that is in effect for the next 15 minutes, and all indications are that it is going to be allowed to expire. We do have a few more showers that are trying to pop up, a few more showers and thunderstorms just about crossing I-35 right now. And then further down to the south, a lot of rain, as you can see over there in Mexico, and that's working its way in. And also, the Weather Service just issued a severe thunderstorm watch. Now, this does not include really any of our area. It does include Laredo, but it's basically in the extreme southern portion of the state where the slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center is showing up right there, and that's in effect that severe thunderstorm watch for extreme southern portions of Texas up until about 7 o'clock tonight. And then there is the marginal risk elsewhere. So any of those storms could be producing some high winds and a little bit of hail. And of course, the flash flood watch is in effect up until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So it does look like we'll see somewhat of a lull in the action by tomorrow. Today, however, we'll still have some of that heavy rain, especially to east and southeast, and the better chance of something strong to severe well down to the south. Just a couple of showers and thunderstorms, if at all, tomorrow. And then we'll have a couple of more showers, thunderstorms trying to pick back up on Friday and going into the weekend. It's looking like it's setting up to be kind of a wet day on Saturday, and more rain to start off next week. Details coming up just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Stephen Cavazos, what's going on, sir?
Yeah, Mike, that's definitely something that drivers are going to want to be cautious of before they head out the door. But as of this morning, things are looking pretty smooth out on the roadways. We've been taking a look here at TransGuide. This is here along 281 at Loop 410, 281 at Hildebrand, that is. Traffic moving nice and smooth right now. Nothing too major, but we are keeping a very close eye on this crash that did happen here off Highway 16 right at Lone Star Pass. This has been reported, but we don't see any major issues right now in this particular particular area. But again, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that particular crash. Other than that, as we mentioned, things are looking pretty smooth for this Wednesday morning, but there was a little bit of a slowdown that we're starting to spot here along 410 in this heading south. You can see that traffic here. It's now kind of slowed down to 37 miles right there. So just be sure to slow down. Give those extra drivers some extra room if you're heading in that direction. Other than that, let's take a look at our inbound times. 23 minutes, 281 from coming in from Valverde to downtown. 24 minutes on I-10 if you're coming in from Bernie to downtown San Antonio. But things are looking smooth. As always, we're going to be keeping a close eye on things throughout the morning. Mark, Stephanie?
Today in Washington, the House will take up a vote on creating a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol.
It's expected to get the green light, but as CNN's Brett Conway reports, more and more Republicans are pushing back.
Let's not forget what happened on January 6th. There was an insurrection.
Fast forward 5 months later. Today, the House will vote on creating a commission to investigate the attack. Chair of the House Rules Committee, Representative Jim McGovern, says it should be an easy vote.
This is a truly bipartisan commission, negotiated in a bipartisan way.
But some Republicans are pushing back, including House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who said, quote, given the Speaker's short-sighted scope that does not examine interrelated forms of political violence in America, I cannot support this legislation. He is insistent that groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa be included in the commission's work. But Democrats say this about-face is about something else.
Kevin McCarthy is a weak and cowardly individual who's afraid of Donald Trump.
Some say McCarthy could be forced to testify in front of the commission.
I wouldn't be surprised if he were subpoenaed.
But GOP whip Steve Scalise is out too, recommending a no vote. And Senator Ron Johnson says he'll vote no. They say Speaker Nancy Pelosi is playing politics.
This is a complete farce. I hope no Republicans in the House vote for this.
The bill can pass the House with only Democratic support, but it needs 10 Republicans to pass in the Senate. Britt Conway, KSAT 12 News.
Well, a St. Louis homeowner seen on viral video pointing guns at protesters is running for Senate in Missouri. He's asked to represent the state of Missouri. Mark McCloskey made the announcement last night. McCloskey and his wife made national headlines last summer after they brandished weapons at demonstrators marching past their mansion. McCloskey said he's always been a Republican, but never a politician. He says he was awakened, quote, when God came knocking on my door disguised as an angry mob. McCloskey is running for the Senate seat currently held by Republican Roy Blunt. Blunt announced in March that he would not seek re-election. Some House Republican lawmakers being reprimanded for not wearing masks. According to a Capitol official, first defense warnings being handed out. Among those defying House rules, Representatives Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Texas's Chip Roy and Louis Gohmert. Representatives Brian Mast, Marionette Miller Meeks, and Beth Van Doon were cited for the second time and each handed a $500 fine. Those who break the rule a third time face a $2,500 fine. There is no mask mandate for the Senate, and some, including Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, have been seen on the Senate floor without facial coverings.
And time now is 5:37 and about 67 degrees right now.
Go ahead. We're getting a first look at Google's completely revamped Android 12 operating system for smartphones.
And the CDC says those who are fully vaccinated can now go mask-free in most places, with some exceptions. Up next, we hear from some who are concerned about how the new guidance will affect kids.
And Mike is tracking flooding rain well to our east. Are there any more storms out there that could affect San Antonio? We'll talk to him coming up. 5:40, the CDC says those who are fully vaccinated can now go mask-free in most places, with a few exceptions.
But as CNN's Mandy Gaither reports, some people are concerned about the impact that new guidance will have on the youngest Americans.
For the fully vaccinated, it means mask freedom.
Personally, myself, I feel comfortable, but I understand that some people might not feel comfortable.
The CDC's mask guidance updated last week has led more local governments and businesses to relax mask mandates.
I am concerned about with the impact of this on our children and on those who just cannot be vaccinated yet.
There's no way to tell whether an unmasked person is fully vaccinated.
The science is the science, but we have to factor in human behavior.
And some health experts have concerns about kids under 12 who aren't eligible to receive the vaccine yet.
Am I going to be bringing my kids now into a Starbucks? Probably not, because I don't want them who are unvaccinated to be surrounded by a bunch of unvaccinated, unmasked people who are breathing on them.
With more adults getting vaccinated, the CDC says children and teens are starting to make up a greater proportion of new COVID-19 cases. And with less than 40% of Americans fully vaccinated, some are urging parents to keep their children masked in public.
It's just the best guidance and advice that you can give to people, not knowing who in the room is protected and who is not.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
It's now 5:41.
And it's one of the hardest jobs in the world, but it might not be your only job. Tips for juggling work and kids and ditching the guilt next.
544, women dropping out of the workforce at an astounding rate, with nearly 3 million women calling it quits during the pandemic.
Moms who are working are facing a guilt that they are failing at everything. However, experts say it's time that working moms change their attitude. Erica Hernandez has the details.
40-plus hours a week here and 40-plus hours a week here. Many moms are feeling more powerless than powerful.
I don't think that he quite got how much work it was to be at home, take care of the kids, make dinner, clean the house, and still do a job 40 hours a week.
Dividing your attention between work and kids results in one thing: guilt.
It's a lot of, am I doing it right at work and am I doing it right at home?
Experts say to become a power mom and ditch the guilt. Engage your children in your work. Take them on trips to the office. Explain what you do and why you make trips. Talk about their most important events so you know which ones can be skipped. And consider setting aside vacation days for one-on-one time, modeling the importance of work-life balance.
You're going to mother just like you are handling your business today. You're going to mother just like you work.
Being organized puts you in control. Stop worrying about what should be done and focus on what can be done. Most importantly, remember, you're teaching them they can do both when they grow up too. Executive moms also say to manage guilt, roll with punches and go with the flow. Take strategic work and parenting breaks when you need to, and remember to share the workload with your spouse. A new study found women did 2 more hours of housework each day than their partners. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
In your morning consumer headlines, we're getting a first look at the completely redesigned Android 12. So Google announced the Android overhaul at its annual developer conference this week. Android 12, the latest version of Google's mobile operating system, features bigger buttons, muted pastel colors. It also has a large home screen clock that changes size depending on how many notifications appear. The revamped Android has a lot of personalization options, such as a higher degree of user control over the color palette. Google also says new software will put less strain on processors, giving it longer battery life.
Taco Bell bringing back a unique play on chicken taco. The fast food chain says its naked chicken chalupa returns to menus nationwide this weekend. First introduced back in 2017, the chicken is stuffed with lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and an avocado ranch sauce. Customers can order a naked chicken chalupa starting May 20th.
Sorry. I would feel funny asking for that.
So remember, you're ordering that, okay?
Yes, you're just ordering
that. Yes.
Right, it just sounds funny.
We're closed to the drive-thru.
Of course.
Let's check traffic at 5:47. Steve Cavazza standing by live with more.
Yeah, we're in close. Thank you.
Naked chicken chalupa. I just do it on the tortilla chip, and it's pretty good. That's how I do it. Just keep it old-fashioned. Well, we have been keeping a close eye and tabs on things here. Looking at this crash that happened actually out towards Highway 16. It doesn't look like it's impacting traffic, but this is what we've been keeping tabs on throughout the morning. It's been there for quite a while. Not too sure what's being reported right now other than that crash. So if you're heading in this direction, just be sure to be aware that first responders will be out there working to clear this scene. We have also spotted a stall up here on 281 in those northbound lanes right at Nakoma Road. This doesn't look like it's impacting much traffic in that area, but just use some extra caution so that driver can get to their destination or to work safely this morning. But taking a look at TransGuide on those north and southbound lanes from 281 right here at Hildebrandt, things are looking nice and smooth, although it looks like the clouds are kind of building up right there a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, we're going to see plenty of clouds today. I doubt if we see any sunshine at all today. Maybe tomorrow a little bit. So
okay.
Yeah, and
the rain tracking behind you.
Yeah, and this was all basically, I think, yesterday. I mean, 3 inches of rain down around Cuero, and just was inundated with some of those heavy thunderstorms, and a lot more overnight. Most all of that has moved on out of the picture, and yeah, it's well, fairly tranquil here in town right now. Here's radar, and as you can see, all the very heavy rain that fell overnight, that's pretty much out of here, except around Victoria, where there's still some flash flood warnings going on. But the flash flood warning for Wilson County, portions of Guadalupe, was allowed to expire at 5:45. Got a couple more thunderstorms, and actually, look at how that thing just kind of pops up almost out of nowhere there in southwestern Atascosa County, a fairly decent cell, and that's going to start to work its way. It looks like it wants to move almost to the east to northeast, so we'll have to watch out for that cell. Obviously, quite a light show with that. And then further on down to the south in our extreme southern counties there, and actually south of our southern counties, there is a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued. It does include Laredo, and that's up until 7 o'clock tonight. But again, that is basically south of our viewing area. Here's the computer model, and for today, the majority of rain is going to be to the south and down to the southeast. And again, we don't need it because there are some estimates, some radar estimates that picked up anywhere from 6 to 9 inches of rain down around Victoria and east of there just in the past 24 hours. So they'll be seeing more rain off to the south and east. Tomorrow, then, there's somewhat of a break in the action. Just a shower or two maybe popping up here or there, but much lesser chances for some rain. It's going to start to pick back up a little bit then on Friday. Then we go on into the weekend, and we'll have more showers around here, a few more thunderstorms. And notice how everything's kind of coming in here from the southeast, and that's because there's sort of a low which is stuck and just right off the coast, and that's going to continue to keep rain chances around even going into Monday as well as going into Tuesday. Now, we do have flash flood watch still in effect for basically the next day up until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then the marginal risk for severe weather throughout most of the area, and that slight risk well down to the south. And this is where that severe thunderstorm watch was just issued about half an hour ago, and that's in effect up until 7 o'clock tonight. So here's what's going on. It's that low just off to the northwest of us, which is really the culprit for all that. And it's going to sort of set up camp right there down along the coast and get stuck in place. This high is not really going anywhere, and that big trough off to the west. And so this thing just sits there, and that's what's going to be keeping our rain chances around, even going into maybe about the first half of next week, at least on Monday and Tuesday. 74 degrees today at noon. A couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms. Most of the rain today is going to be to the east and to the southeast, and some more heavy downpours can be expected. 78 for a high temperature today. Like I said, a lull in the action, just a storm or two tomorrow, and then rain will start to pick back up a little bit on Friday, and then especially going on into the weekend, and more showers, a couple of thunderstorms on Monday and Tuesday. So.
Still a lot going on. All right, so we know win or go home tonight for our Spurs. Today on SA Live, some unique fan gear of sorts.
Yes, these things that you can acquire. They've got some of the great Spurs colors on them, and we're going to tell you where you can get them, very unique products, and how long it's going to be lasting. Premium leather goods and apparel, you know, with those Fiesta-themed colors from the Spurs. Third time Spurs have teamed up with Bear Goods. It was launched Fan Appreciation Night.
Well,
only
got
for
those
limited time.
Fiesta colors going.
Yeah. Kind of cool looking, though.
Yeah, and I assume all handmade.
Mm-hmm. And limited time again, so you got to get your hands on it. We're going to tell you all about that at 1 o'clock today.
Well, Mike's been busy lately.
Yes, you have.
I tell you. Lots of sewing. 5:52 on your Wednesday.
Let's take a look at your winning Lotto numbers. We have pick 3, 0, 1, 3, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 4, 5, 6, 0, Fireball 3.
Cash 5 numbers 2, 15, 16, 21, 22, and Mega Millions 3, 5, 56, 61, 66. Mega Ball 4, Mega Plier 2. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up on GMA, the brewing battle over new mask mandates. Guidelines are changing across the country. Texas banning mask mandates for government properties, including public schools. The move sparking outrage, while some governors express concern over the new CDC guidelines. This as more businesses roll back their rules. The latest on that plus much more coming up only on GMA. We'll see you all soon.
As we wrap up this half hour of GMSA, we want to tell you about these pets over at the Humane Society that need a loving home. Pax is as sweet as he is handsome. He's a 2-year-old pitty boy with a winning smile and a great coat with beautiful spots. Treats will always get his attention. He loves to play and meet new friends. This is Yuna. She's an 8-month-old girl looking for a perfect home. She'll steal your heart with her sweet and loving personality. She loves to give and receive attention all day long. Her unique brown coat and green eyes make her a one-of-a-kind beauty. For more information on Pax or Yuna, go to call the Humane Society 210-226-7461 or visit sahumane.org. Right now on KSAT.com, HEB is now offering free curbside pickup across Texas. The chain decided to drop the $5 charge as long as customers have a minimum purchase of $35. The curbside option grew in popularity amid the pandemic for many stores across town and across the state of Texas. For more information, check out our website at KSAT.com. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday morning. Still to come on GMSA, a woman in custody following an early morning rollover accident. We have those details. And on our next hour, get ready, Spurs fans, do or die for the Silver Black tonight. Their season on the line in Memphis. We'll have a game day preview. And an area school district officially lifting its mask mandate as early as this week. That and more when we return. Plus, Samuel King is here with an update on the roads as we look live at I-35 at FM 1103. We had those big problems yesterday morning. There's 35 at Walsham and 410 at San Pedro. You're watching GMSA.
Masks will no longer be required on Texas public school campuses starting June 5th. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. The announcement from one local school district following the governor's executive order.
And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, some showers have moved out, but we are expecting more.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
And more are popping up as we speak. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is May 19th.
Thanks for being with us this morning. Hopefully you can go out and get your coffee now before it gets too crazy out there on the roadways.
And it's crazy well to our east, places like Houston. But right now, Mike's going to talk to us about what's happening on radar south and just north of San Antonio.
Yes, indeed. We've got more showers and thunderstorms popping up, and we'll see more around the area today, mainly to the east and to the southeast, and where you really don't need any more rain because they got inundated in the overnight hours off to the east of us. Fairly calm here in town for the most part. Roads are dry for the time being. And here's what it looks like on radar right now. Still got a lot of rain down there around Victoria. Still have some flooding going on there. And maybe a couple little sprinkly showers. But notice how we've got this cell right there, which has just popped up. And that's going up into Kendall County. And then also right here from Frio moving into Atascosa County, that cell. And that's packing a pretty good punch as well. And then this cell just kind of came up right there, right around Karnes City. So most of the rain today, again, is going to be, obviously we've got that cell up there to the north, but most will be further to the east and to the southeast. And there's a lot of it well down to the south. And there's also a severe thunderstorm watch, and that's just south of our area. That was issued up until 7 o'clock tonight. You can see those very heavy storms over there in Mexico, and they're moving in toward Laredo. And again, the majority of this will be staying down to the south and to the southeast, and a lot more down there around Corpus Christi. Yeah, the southeastern portion right along the coast and the coastal plain, it was inundated overnight and is going to get a whole lot more rain. We do have the severe threat today. Again, that gets bumped up to a slight risk down to the south later on. High winds, hail. We had some hail reports yesterday and a lot of high winds and some tree damage around the area yesterday. And that's going to be a possibility again today, again, mainly down to the south. And we also have the flash flood watch in effect up until 1 o'clock tomorrow. And there aren't any indications that that's going to be be extended as of right now. So we will see kind of a break in the action tomorrow. But today, we'll still have more showers and thunderstorms around here. It's going to be kind of breezy wind out of the southeast, about 10, 20 miles per hour. We will make it up into the mid 70s today at noon, and then top off just in the upper 70s later on today. Again, more showers and thunderstorms scattered about the area, again, leaning more toward the east and to the southeast. What's in store for the weekend? Details on that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority Samuel King is here, and what is the latest, sir?
Well, good morning, Mike, and good morning, everyone out there. Things in the immediate San Antonio area looking fairly quiet right now. We had some construction overnight, of course, as Stephen was telling you about, and some crashes, but things are clear now. But Mike was talking about the rain up here in Kendall County. So if you're coming into San Antonio on I-10, or if you're heading over maybe to Canyon Lake and some areas to the east on State Highway 46. Just watch out for that. It doesn't take much in heavy rain, and this blue color indicates some heavy rain on some of the roadways to hydroplane. So just be careful about that. Leave plenty of extra space and the like. Again, Kendall County right now seeing the most rain closest to the San Antonio area. But that travel time coming in from Bernie on I-10 still looks good at the moment. 24 minutes, 28 minutes coming in from Boulevardy on 281 right now. 25 minutes coming in from New Braunfels on 35. So completely different than yesterday. Here's Loop 410 at Rolling Ridge. Traffic building a little bit, but flowing well, as is by the airport at 281 at Loop 410. And we'll have another update coming up. Mark, Stephanie.
Thank you, Samuel. Governor Greg Abbott announced a new executive order yesterday that prohibits governmental entities from requiring mask wearing.
That order will go into effect soon. Sarah Costa is live downtown with what that means for Texas public schools and other entities. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie, and that effect will go into order soon. And, you know, it actually carries a pretty heavy fine of up to $1,000 if local governments and officials try to require mask wearing. Now, starting this Friday, Governor Abbott's executive order will officially prohibit government entities from requiring mask wearing or face a fine. Public schools will be allowed to follow mask wearing guidelines through June 4th, but after that, masks will not be required on campuses. Hospitals, jails, and state-supported living centers are exempt from the order. Businesses can still require employees and customers to wear masks. One of the first local school districts to make an announcement after that executive order is Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD. The school board trustees voted unanimously yesterday to modify the face covering requirements currently in place and posted an update to its Facebook page late last night saying effective at 1 p.m. on Friday, May 21st, SCUCISD students, teachers, and staff will no longer be required to wear face coverings inside a school building, school facility, or facility used for school activities. And of course, as we hear from more local entities and school districts, we'll keep you posted on those updates on air and online at KSAT.com. Live from downtown, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
Thank you, Sarah. New on our website, the San Antonio Public Library announced that people who are fully vaccinated do not need to wear masks when visiting a branch location. Face coverings are still encouraged for people who are not fully vaccinated. All locations will begin operating at 100% capacities, except for locations under renovation. Officials say there will be no more temperature checks. You can read more about the guidelines right now on KSAT.com.
This morning, many local and state leaders are reacting to Governor Abbott's order on mask requirements.
Meanwhile, there was a big change in New York overnight. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the latest.
A major milestone today in New York, once the epicenter of the pandemic. Wearing a mask indoors is now optional for vaccinated New Yorkers in most cases. But some say they're not ready to drop their mask until more people get the shot, including the state's health commissioner who says he'll keep wearing a mask indoors even though he's vaccinated.
Until we get to a fully normal state, post-COVID state, where the vast majority of people are vaccinated, then it will continue to remain confusing.
In Texas, even more confusion and frustration. Governor Greg Abbott now signing an executive order after the state recorded 0 COVID deaths for the first day in more than a year. That order says local officials in Texas who implement mandatory mask orders can now be fined up to $1,000. Houston's mayor already suggesting his city will not comply.
You don't run the city of Houston and the city employees in the city facilities. The mayor does.
Governor Abbott's order also makes masks optional in schools. The president of the Texas State Teachers Association outraged.
Every time that we think that we're almost to the end of this pandemic, that we're reaching a goal to make everybody safe, it seems like the state comes back and attacks a safety measure that we have asked for.
In the meantime, White House advisor Andy Slavitt is making a personal appeal to young people to get vaccinated, revealing that his own teenage son has been battling COVID and its effects for months.
He's young and fit and in the prime of his life. But 6 months later, he still suffers from tachycardia, shortness of breath, and ongoing and frequent flu-like symptoms.
Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home, residents living in a Southside neighborhood still shaken this morning after one of their neighbors was gunned down Monday night. The shooting happened at the intersection of Tabor Avenue and West South Cross. San Antonio police say the victim was pulling out of his driveway when someone drove up, got out, and fired multiple rounds, hitting him several times. One neighbor who asked not to be identified said the victim's name is Roberto Lopez and said Lopez would only go home or to work at his construction job. That neighbor says they're still concerned because the shooter is still out there.
I don't know why people do it. I mean, they want to come by, shoot, and then they take off. I mean, if you want to shoot, why don't you stay through the whole process? If you want to be tough enough and attend to the consequences.
Victim was taken to BAMC and last check still in critical condition. If you have any information that can help police, you're urged to call the SAPD Homicide Unit. That number is on your screen, 210-207-7635.
In your morning headlines today, the U.S. House is poised to vote on a 9/11-style commission on the deadly January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. The vote is the first step toward creating an independent bipartisan panel that would investigate the siege. But the bill creating the commission is expected to be a more difficult sell in the Senate. Republicans are signaling that they will try to block or at least slow the effort. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he is pushing the pause button on the legislation. Democrats would need at least 10 GOP votes in the Senate to pass it under Senate rules.
China's UN ambassador says France is seeking a UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants who control the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the U.S. has blocked the UN's most powerful body, which is charged with maintaining international peace and security, from issuing a press statement calling for a halt to the violence. The U.S. insisting that it would not help diplomatic efforts to end the conflict.
Fiesta 2021 kicks off in just about a month, and this week's episode of KSAT Explains is all about their traditions that have been formed over the event's 130-year history.
From Battle of Flowers to the collecting of Fiesta medals, there's a lot to learn. For example, do you know the tradition of the ugly king El Rey Feo, how that came about?
No. Not too much.
Rey Feo has roots in Spanish medieval times when the king of Spain had fancy parties with aristocrats. Ordinary citizens would have their own separate celebrations where they would crown one of their own as El Rey Feo.
Oh, interesting. The tradition made its way over to Mexico and eventually San Antonio.
In 1947, a group of businessmen here in San Antonio felt like they wanted to make sure that all cultures were involved in San Antonio and came up with the idea of Rey Feo.
Interesting. In 1980, El Rey Feo was officially invited to be a part of Fiesta. So you can learn more about all of the Fiesta traditions we have, and you'll watch it at this week's episode of KSAT Explains.
KSAT Explains, your favorite Fiesta traditions, available to stream on demand right now at ksat.com/explains or on the KSAT TV app on most streaming devices.
And time now at 6:11 and about 66 degrees right now.
So ahead on GMSA, we'll meet a bright young woman man, who hopes to one day help those in the LGBT community. We're back right after this.
And taking a look outside with live cam. Again, we are in the mid-60s this morning, a little cool. Some showers have moved away, but we are expecting more. And we're going to check in with Mike a little later on. And welcome back. It's about 6:15. So this high school senior from Henry Ford Academy hopes to one day be able to help other struggling teens like he was helped by others.
Sarah Kusa introduces us to great graduate Chris Bills, who one day hopes to work for a nonprofit that helps LGBTQ students who don't have support systems.
High school senior Chris Bills is passionate about theater and the arts and says the community at Henry Ford Academy cultivated that love for performing. But he says his experience at HFA also created a passion for social reform and public policy.
I'm very passionate about justice and equality within our communities, as well within the country, within legislation and things.
It's why he wants to major in political science when he starts his college path at the University of North Texas next semester. But it's not necessarily politics he wishes to pursue, but hopes to one day work for a nonprofit that helps struggling LGBTQ youth, especially those who become homeless after coming out to their families.
I had friends who were in that situation. I was very close to being in that situation, and so that was kind of my big passion with that. And I had people who helped me, and so I hope to help other people.
He says he knows it can be a scary situation and is incredibly grateful for his family, friends, and community at HFA who stood by his side.
I often am very grateful for the people in my life that helped me through those times when some people weren't quite as understanding yet.
In 10 years, he says he doesn't just want to be involved in some type of nonprofit work, but hopes he can be that support system to LGBTQ teens who don't have anyone else to turn to for support.
I really hope to be that person that I might have not had when I was at that point, because I know a lot of people who just didn't have the resources to get help through that, and so I would hope that I could be that person for someone else.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
And good luck, Chris, as you graduate from Henry Ford Academy.
Yes, congrats. And for now, let's go ahead and check the roadways with Samuel King.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie and everyone out there. Things in the immediate San Antonio area looking fine again. Not too many incidents, not even many delays. So if you are someone who needs to get going here in the next half hour or so, this would be a good time to do so. And especially up here in Comal County. Yesterday we had some major situations on I-35 coming into town at FM 1103. This morning, things looking fine, though, on both sides of New Braunfels, heading north up to San Marcos and Austin, and then south on into San Antonio. They still have some wet roads reported here, though, in the Bernie area in Kendall County, heading eastbound on 46 there. That blue cutter indicates maybe some ponding on the roadway, so definitely be careful if you are commuting in those areas this morning coming into San Antonio. The drive time still looks fairly good, but you want to be careful with wet roads, even though we're not seeing them necessarily here in San Antonio right now. This is I-35 at Alamo downtown. Had some backups here yesterday in the 7 and 8 o'clock hour. That looks fine right now. Mike, how's the rain going to be looking for the rest of the morning commute?
We're starting to see more showers and thunderstorms developing, and they are looking like they're working their way up in toward Bexar County. I'm going to show you that in just a moment on radar. First of all, as you're getting ready to hit the roads, for the time being, things are on the dry side, and temperatures are right around mid and upper 60s, and then we're going to be topping off right around the upper 70s later on today. Still a couple of heavier downpours. The majority of the really heavy rain today, though, is going to be further to the south and to the southeast. That doesn't mean the rest of us won't see anything. Rain gauges really got filled up, and this one, look at that over there right around Helotes, about 1.5 inches with some of those storms that moved through. Some areas picked up 2-3 inches of rain yesterday with some of those big storms. So everything is quiet right now in this picture. And as far as some rainfall totals, and this is just in the past 24 hours, picked up just inundated down there to the southeast. Some estimates anywhere from 6, 7, 8 inches of rain, and say in and around Seguin area 4 or 5 inches, and a little closer into home. Look at some of these numbers around here. 1 inch, 2 inches, 2.5, almost 4 inches of rain down around Pleasanton. So here's what it looks like on radar right now. All that really heavy rain has moved off to the east, and now we've got more of these thunderstorm cells which are developing, especially here in and around Atascosa County, and this is really starting to build very quickly. This about an hour ago there was almost nothing showing up, and this is moving. As you can see, it's kind of building spreading up to the north a little bit, and the movement of it almost appears to be just to the east a little bit. But some of this is now starting to work its way into southern Bexar County, and then more of this rain here just right around Floresville into Wilson County and Karnes County as well. A couple of those stronger cells, and then up here right around Kendall County, we've got another strong cell. This looks like it is developing, then starting to push its way off to the east. Here's the computer model throughout the rest of today, and again, we'll continue to see some of these showers and thunderstorms, but again, the majority of the rain is down to the south and to the southeast. And then going into tomorrow, looks like we see a little bit of a break in the action, and then more rain is going to start to develop as we go into Friday. Now, as far as flash flood watch, still in effect up until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we do have the small risk for severe weather throughout most of the area, the marginal risk, but that risk gets upped down here in our southern counties. As a matter of fact, well down to the south of our area, there is a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued, and it's in effect up until 7 o'clock tonight. 74 degrees today at noon, couple of showers, couple of thunderstorms scattered about the area, and more rain today. Again, the majority of the rain is going to be east and to the southeast, and tomorrow, somewhat of a break in the action. We'll be up right around 80, just a storm or two is possible. More rain on Friday, and then rain is going to start to pick up more Saturday and Sunday, and still some leftover rain going into the first part of next week.
Thank you, Mike. Breaking news real quick. New York Times reporting the European Union has just voted to reopen to vaccinated visitors and those from COVID-safe countries, and they're going to finalize that list before the end of this week. So Europe's back open.
That's true. More later on the later newscast time. Right now it's 6:22 and about 66 degrees right now.
Still ahead on GMSA. If you're wanting to explore the final frontier, here's your chance. Details after the break.
Do lotion and jeans go together? A Nivea breathable experiment. Now they do. Moisturizes deeply with no sticky feel. The game-changing Nivea breathable.
How can you tell which one's the better deal?
Bring in Dad from Sarasota.
Dads are great, but let's say, show me the Carfax value. You'll get the most accurate price based on the vehicle's accident history. Shop at the all-new Carfax.com.
Spray, lift, skip, step, swipe, lift, spin, dry, slam, pan, still fresh, move, 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 and still fresh. Degree, ultimate freshness activated when you move.
Derriere discomfort. We try to soothe it with this, cool it with this, and relieve it with this. But Preparation H Soothing Relief is the 21st century way to do all three every day. Preparation H, get comfortable with it.
Apple is poised to roll out a redesigned MacBook Pro. Bloomberg reporting the new laptops will feature the company's in-house chip supporting up to 64 gigabytes of space. There are more ports, including the return of the SD card slot, and it will come in 14 or 16-inch screens.
Google Photos providing users with a safe space, a new feature called Locked Folder being added to protect your private images. Nothing in that folder will appear on your photo feed or in other apps. The password protected feature will first launch on Android and Pixel phones this year.
Finally, who wants to be an astronaut? No, really, that's the name of a competition adventure TV show announced by Discovery. It'll take place next year. The winner expected to get a seat on a flight to the International Space Station and spend 8 days aboard the ISS.
No, thank you.
You're going to pass.
I'm going to pass. What about you?
I'd do it. Sure, why not? An out-of-this-world experience, why not?
Yeah, you're brave.
6:26, about 66 degrees. You're watching GMSA. And
still ahead in our next half hour, we're going to show you what San Antonio firefighters are doing to help get the coronavirus vaccine into the community.
Samuel King is watching the roads for us now that the sun is up. Fairly light traffic there at Interstate 35 at Alamo and 37 in Jones. We will talk to him coming up after the break.
Following an executive order from Governor Greg Abbott, masks will not be required in Texas public schools or government entities. Good morning, I'm Sarah Acosta. Coming up on GMSA, an announcement from a local school district following that executive order.
A crucial vote on the House floor today regarding the attack on the Capitol. I'm Mike Ajachi reporting in Washington. Coming up, why Republicans want to put a pause on the commission.
And it is game day, San Antonio. Do and die for the silver and black tonight. We'll get you ready for the Spurs versus the Memphis Grizzlies.
Go Spurs, go. And taking a look outside with live cam this morning, we're in the mid-60s, nice and cool, and expecting more rain.
And good morning to you. It is Wednesday, May 19th. It's very possible some of you are hearing the rumble of thunder as we speak.
That's true. We are getting more rain. Hope you're having a great week so far. And I guess a lot of people got some overnight.
Especially off to the east. I mean, some of our eastern counties and down there along the coastal plain just got way too much rain, and especially in and around Victoria. And if you step outside and you look down to the south, you're probably going to be seeing some of those lightning strikes and lightning flashes, I should say. And not much is going on. We're looking obviously up to the north, but if we could swing that camera around, like I said, we'd probably see some of that lightning from that cell right there, which is covering a good chunk of Atascosa County. Most all of the heavy rain, which was covering everywhere from eastern Wilson County, Gonzales, that has moved on out. A lot of it's still down around Victoria, down around Corpus Christi as well. And this cell, which has really been developing, and a couple of more little pockets of thunderstorms there right around the Wilson-Karnes County line. It is kind of spreading a little bit to the north. Obviously, some of this rain is working its way into southern Bexar County. And overall, it looks like the movement of this is somewhat to the east. And you can see right there that one little spot, that kind of purple area, there may be a little bit of small hail associated with that as well. This cell up around Kendall County appears to be sort of dying off, but you still got some pretty good downpours there. Right around Canyon Lake, some rain as well. And this is the area where you picked up about 2 or 3 inches of rain even yesterday, late in the afternoon, right around dinner time, with those cells that popped up, and then a lot more down to the south. And notice this yellow box right there. That's a severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued, and it's in effect up until 7 o'clock. Just south of our area. It does include Laredo. There is the marginal risk of severe weather throughout most of the area, and of course the flash flood watch is still in effect up until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We do have a lot of mold out there. That's probably going to be staying on the high side with all the moisture around. Storms, couple of heavier downpours, mainly to the east and to the south and southeast today. It doesn't mean the rest of us won't see a heavy downpour, but that's where the majority of the rain is going to be. Tomorrow, a couple of leftover storms, if that. We see a lull in the action tomorrow. Then a few more showers picking up on Friday, more rain over the weekend, and even going into the first part of next week. All the details on the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Samuel King. Any big problems out there, sir?
No big problems in the immediate San Antonio area, Mike, so things are looking fairly good if you're in Bexar County or the central Bexar County. But as you mentioned, we are seeing some heavy rain, and that's impacting the roads to the south and to the north. So let's start down south. You mentioned Atascosa County here, Pleasanton. This is I-37, 281-16, that rain moving north. So if you're commuting from the south of San Antonio, that's something to watch out for this morning. Also to the northwest, Mike mentioned some of those heavy showers in Kendall County just to the east of Boerne. So I-10, State Highway 46 will be primarily affected there. Even 281 and 46, that interchange. So watch out for that. Slow down. Be mindful. It doesn't take much speed to hydroplane if you run into some heavy rain like we're seeing here on State Highway 46. So just take it easy if you're in those areas this morning. But looking at the travel times coming from the north, everybody in the green, including 24 minutes coming in from Boerne, 25 minutes from Bulverde and 281, and 26 minutes from New Braunfels. This is 37 at Salado Creek. It's flowing well this morning. We'll have another update coming up.
Thank you, Samuel. Masks will no longer be required on Texas public school campuses starting June 5th. Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order yesterday prohibiting governmental entities from requiring mask wearing.
Sarah Acosta is live downtown with what this order means, and she also has one local school district that has already made an announcement following that executive order. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Mark and Stephanie. Yeah, that school district is Schertz-Cibolo Universal City ISD, and they made that announcement following a school board meeting last night, and they posted it to their Facebook page late last night saying that they're going to stop requiring people to wear face masks as early as this week. And that post saying, quote, effective at 1 p.m. on Friday, May 21st, SCU CISD students, teachers, and staff will no longer be required to wear face coverings inside a school building, school facility, or facility used for school activities. Starting on Friday, Governor Greg Abbott's executive order will officially prohibit government entities from requiring mask wearing or face a fine. Public schools will be allowed to follow mask wearing guidelines through June 4th, but after that, masks will not be required on campus. Hospitals, jails, and state-supported living centers are exempt from this order. Now, as we hear from more school districts and other entities following that announcement of that executive order from the governor yesterday, we will keep you posted on air and online at KSAT.com. Live from downtown, I'm Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News. Mark and Stephanie.
New this morning, one person is dead following an overnight motorcycle crash. It happened just after 10:30 in the downtown area on I-35 near Martin Street. According to the medical examiner's office, at least one person was killed in the collision. Details are still limited as of this morning. We'll bring you updates as new information becomes available.
One woman in police custody following a rollover crash. This happened around 3:30 this morning on the city's north side in the 8500 block of Broadway near Wetmore Road. That's where police say the woman in her 20s rolled her truck while she was driving northbound. She was taken into custody on suspicion of DWI. There were no reported injuries.
Texas death row inmate Quentin Jones is scheduled to die by lethal injection later today. Jones was sentenced to death for the 1999 murder of his 83-year-old great-aunt Berthena Bryant in Fort Worth. Bryant's sister Maddie Long has since asked the governor to spare Jones's life. The Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles voted unanimously to deny the petition, and Governor Abbott is not expected to go against their ruling. In a few hours, House lawmakers will hold a consequential vote on the House floor that would form a commission to investigate the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
But some key Republicans appear to be rejecting the idea. ABC's Ike Ajachi has more from Washington.
This morning, Republicans are looking to put a pause on the push for answers surrounding the January 6th riot at the Capitol. The House will vote today on establishing a commission to investigate the attack. It'll likely pass with little, if any, Republican support. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy now siding with former President Trump and opposing the bipartisan effort to investigate the attack, even after one of his allies negotiated the terms.
We have the numbers to pass it without a single Republican. But that doesn't get us to where we need to be. And so the minority leaders, last minute effort to, I think, sabotage the whole effort is disingenuous, because those of us who negotiated this did it in good faith.
McCarthy wants the commission to also investigate what he calls political violence last summer during protests over police killings of unarmed black men. Once the bill passes, it'll head to the Senate. Now, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is calling the effort duplicative.
The Justice Department is aggressively pursuing the people who encroached on the Capitol.
If the commission gets through these roadblocks, the 10-person group will have subpoena power, meaning House Minority Leader McCarthy could be called to testify, since he spoke to then-President Trump as the rioters were breaching the Capitol. Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who was recently ousted from her leadership position by McCarthy, has suggested he should testify before any commission. These types of commissions aren't uncommon. Republicans, they conducted about a half a dozen investigations into the 2012 Benghazi attack. And 9/11, that was investigated several times before the actual 9/11 Commission began its work. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
Here at home, a major change as CPS Energy faces issues from February's winter storm. The utility's chief financial officer planning to end his 16-year tenure by retiring at the end of June. Gary Gold's departure comes as the utility continues to try to reduce more than $1 billion in bills from February's winter storm. As recently as late last month, Gold and his staff estimated the storm's financial impact to be more than $1 billion. CPS Energy says this transition was planned, saying in part, quote, Gold will remain with the utility through June 30th, serving as Chief Business Excellence Officer to ensure a smooth transition and knowledge transfer while advising leadership on key initiatives, end quote.
Our San Antonio Spurs will face the Memphis Grizzlies for a fourth time this season, this time in a win or go home play-in game tonight. After finishing 10th in the Western Conference standings in the regular season, the Spurs 4-point underdogs on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis to see if they can continue their season. Spurs beat the Grizzlies in their season opener 131-119, but in February lost back-to-back games to the Grizzlies, including their second worst home defeat by 31 points. So how do the Spurs feel about having their backs against the wall?
I would say it's pretty exciting, to say the least. This is a situation that I've never been in. And on top of that, we're trying to make the playoffs. So I'm starving, I'm hungry, I'm excited, and I'm ready to play with my team and get a dub.
It's exciting. It's a chance to, to one chance closer to get opportunity to make the playoffs. So, win or go home games it's easily said and done. It's you win and you move on, or you lose or you go home. So I think the guys are excited from the practice we had today. And, we just got to go out there tomorrow, compete, and try to get a win.
So here's where the Spurs sit right now in the Western Conference play-in tournament bracket. San Antonio, Memphis tip-off 6:30 tonight. The winner of that game will go on to play the loser of the Warriors-Lakers matchup. The loser of Spurs-Grizz will be eliminated from playoff contention. And here at home, baseball back at the Wolf for the first time since 2019. But the Missions lose to Frisco by a score of 1-0 last night.
All right, well, definitely tonight, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Good luck, guys, up there in Memphis. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, time now is 6:41, and we're in the mid-60s right now.
Home is now where the health is. Mobile teams are making sure that homebound people have a shot at COVID vaccines. I'm Katrina Weber. I'll tell you more about it.
Some people looking for protection against coronavirus finding help right at their own front doors. Members of the San Antonio Fire Department making visits to homebound people, delivering vaccines all across our area.
As Katrina Weber shows us, this mobile vaccine program is on a roll, reaching hundreds of homes each week.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Monroe?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you ready for your second vaccine?
Yes, ma'am.
A knock on his door means Payne Monroe can close the door to months of frustration.
I kept calling and calling, but I'm the type that I said, I don't know, and then they came over here.
After trying unsuccessfully to get a shot at a vaccine, he was ready to give up.
All right, here, 1, 2, and 3.
That is until this team showed up at his home.
Super happy.
Members of the San Antonio Fire Department have gone mobile in a program bringing COVID vaccines to homebound people.
It's difficult for those elderly to get out, and they're afraid to get out.
The whole premise of this is just to get some kind of normalcy back, and then this is the way we're going to do it.
Team 1 is going to be Chris and Natchet. Team 2, Jacob and Ryan.
There are 10 teams in all, working 6 days and delivering about 1,000 vaccines per week. As in any war, their battle against the virus starts with a plan.
They're going to have to take you all to 2 different spots, get you badges.
They meet up at the Alamo Dome each day, then load up and head out. While these trailers represent a sort of home base for the crews, there is no returning home for the vaccines. Every dose that leaves here has to be given out within a certain amount of time. The second dose delivery is right on time for this man, visiting family in Mexico for the first time since the pandemic began.
They're going to go in 2 weeks, so that was one of the reasons why he wanted to get vaccinated, and to make sure he was safe, his family was safe.
To know that we can make that happen makes us all feel good.
If they're successful, they'll keep a lot of other people from feeling bad. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Hey, Katrina, great story there. Traffic not looking so great in some parts of the area. Travel times looking okay. 28 minutes coming in from Pleasanton, but there's some rain down there. 16 minutes coming in from Lytle and I-35. Taking a look at the overall map, we do have a stalled vehicle on the west side. This is Loop 1604 at New Gilbo, so heading sort of eastbound there. And then heading up north here, this is just a quick reminder, TxDOT unveiling its virtual public hearing. We've seen the projects down at 281 heading towards 1604. Now they want to do some upgrades up to State Highway 46. You can access that at TxDOT.gov. 1604 looking fine this morning. Some delays building. Mike, some of the rain moving into our area.
Yeah, especially down to the south and southwest. And this cell, which has been growing, just a couple of hours ago, there was nothing there. And now it is really starting to blow up, basically. And the green box indicates a flash flood warning for Atascosa County and this extreme eastern portion of Frio County, although it's kind of moving out of Frio County. And the problem with this is even even though it is starting to, some of the rain is moving up to the north, that cell is not really going anywhere anytime fast. And so that's why it's just kind of sitting in one spot. Some of the rainfall rates, some of the estimates from radar, 2.5, close to 3 inches per hour. That doesn't mean you'll get that much rain. It's just coming down in buckets, but you are going to be getting a whole lot. This cell up here to the north is kind of falling apart just a little bit. And then further on down to the south, a ton of rain in the extreme southern portion of the state, and still a lot more rain in and around right there, right around Corpus Christi and down to the southeast. And computer models do have a lot of heavy rain, mainly south and southeast throughout the rest of the day. And that's going to add to what has already fallen overnight, which has been anywhere from 4, 6 inches, 8 inches of rain down here in and around Victoria. We will see a little bit of a break in the action then overnight into tomorrow, but it does look like the rain is going to start to pick up once again as we go into tomorrow, and then also as we head on in toward the weekend. And we do still have the flash flood watch in effect till 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then also there is the slight risk for severe weather in our extremes well to the south of our southern counties, should say. There's the the severe thunderstorm watch issued down there. And then there's the marginal risk for any sort of severe weather elsewhere today. Big heavy downpours can be expected, again scattered about mainly to the east and to the southeast. 74 at noon today, and then a high temperature today up to 78, with some of those storms producing some heavy downpours. Now tomorrow we see a little bit of a break in the action, and then we are going to be getting a little bit more rain coming on in here by Friday and the weekend. And I just want to check on something here very quickly. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning. That's down around Live Oak County right now, and that's in effect up until 7:30 this morning. So heavy rain down around Atascosa County, and then also the severe thunderstorm warning right around Live Oak County till 7:30. By the way, the flash flood warning for Atascosa County is in effect till 9:45.
And today on SA Live?
Yeah, if you want to pick up some really cool Spurs memorabilia, this is kind of one-of-a-kind stuff. And then also we've got some, a workout. That was not Spurs leather products, but you can also exercise and be very energetic once you get those Spurs products there. So
yes,
we're going to tell you all about that too.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Mike. About 10 till right now, 67 degrees.
And tomorrow on GMSA, maintaining the lawn is not for everyone. We're going to show you how some homeowners are turning their front lawns to micro farms.
And outside with Live Cam, we're going to check back in with Samuel King coming up here on GMSA.
Welcome back, everybody. 6:54. Taking a look at some travel times to the north. Things still looking fine despite some rain in the Boerne area. 24 minutes coming in on I-10, 28 minutes on 281 coming down from Beauverde. 30 on 35, 26 minutes from New Braunfels. That's looking good. This is a look at TransGuide 35 at Nogalitos. Looking fine this morning. We had some delays here, some big delays here yesterday, so just watch out for that this morning, especially with some of the rain moving in. Mike's going to talk more about the situation down in Atascosa County, but if you are someone who commutes north into San Antonio from down there, the Pleasanton area, 281, 37, watch out for some heavy rain, right, Mike?
Yeah, all of a sudden the fire hose got turned on down there in Atascosa County. Nothing showing up in this picture right now, but you look down to the south and, well, first of all, you can see some of these showers are spreading up in toward Bexar County. And boy, there in Atascosa County, there was nothing there, say, an hour and a half ago, but that cell is almost not moving. The flash flood warning, the green box there, does include eastern portions of Frio County. Obviously, the rain has moved on out of there, but that's coming down at the rate of about 2.5 to close to 3 inches per hour, and that is definitely going to be causing some flooding on the already saturated ground. Also, as you can see, some of these cells are building here in Wilson County. By the way, that flash flood warning is in effect up until 9:45. Further on down to the southeast, right there in extreme, this is almost out of our viewing area, extreme southern Live Oak County, there is a severe thunderstorm warning up until 7:30. Now, we are going to continue to see some of these showers and thunderstorms developing. The majority of the rain today is going to be to the east and to the southeast. We do have the chance for some severe weather today, especially well down to the south. Flash flood watch is in effect until 1 o'clock tomorrow.
All right, updates throughout Good Morning America.
We'll see you back here at 9 and have a good day.